Hi YouTubers. It's Saturday. Under normal circumstances, I would be at work right now. And although I enjoy being away from work probably more than just about anybody that I know, I would actually rather be at work today. Okay? So for me to actually say that, you have to know that I really, really am not happy right now. So I live in New Jersey, as some of you guys know, and we are at the very beginning of this monstrous snowstorm. And when I say monstrous, please, I understand, people like in Boston and, Minnesota and Missouri and Maine and all these places, the amount of snow that we're getting is nothing to you guys, but considering where I live, this is like huge, okay? And it's a huge pain in the ass is what it is. Rewind to like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, the news, the weather people, who I hate with a passion, I hate them with a passion. They get paid to guess. It's not scientific in my opinion. They look at a map and they guess what's going to happen, okay? And it's pointless, but that's a topic for another video. Anyway, 3 or 4 days ago, they mentioned in passing this storm that was going to come up the coast, and they're like, but don't worry, it's going to stay offshore, and we'll probably just get a little bit of rain and wind from it. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be able to finish all my Christmas stuff on the weekend, so I put everything off, because I've been working like crazy. I've been working every day, and fast forward a couple days, watching the news again, they come back and they say, well, on second thought, this storm might give us a little bit of problem. Instead of rain, we might get a little bit of accumulating snow. I'm like, alright, I don't like driving in snow, but, I can handle a couple inches, it's not a big deal. Then, come home, day before yesterday, and suddenly it's the end of the world they're talking about. And it seems, long story short, too late, it just seems like the longer it goes on, the more snow they're adding to the totals that we're supposed to get. It started off being 4 to 6. Then it moved to about 10. Now, this morning, they're talking about 2 feet of snow by tomorrow morning. 2 feet of snow, okay? You have to understand, like I said, I live in southern New Jersey. We're lucky if we get maybe 7 or 8 inches of snow for the entire winter. Last year we had 1 snowstorm, and I think we got like 5. And I was whining about that too. 2 fucking feet of snow. Alright, and let me just say this. I have really bad memories associated with snowstorms, so that's, kind of got me all messed up to begin with. Really long story. One of the bad memories that I have regarding snow is I was in an accident right after a really bad snowstorm that we had probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and I crashed my car into the median, the divider on the parkway. And ever since then, I'm an absolute basket case when I try to drive in bad weather. So, hence, I'm home today, because the people at work know that if it's going to be bad weather, then I'm not going to come in. And the way it looks now, I'm about 99% sure my ass won't be at work tomorrow either. And I can't afford to miss 2 days of work. I can't afford to miss 1 day of work, let alone 2. Okay, so that right there is enough to get me annoyed. But it's just another thing that was like pissing me off last night is that the weather people were just like so cheerful and happy about it, and I'm like, well, yeah, because you actually have something to do. That you're going to be on all day. You're going to be like, talking about the weather all day. Probably like a weatherman's wet dream is a storm like this, And sorry about that visual, actually. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not a happy camper right now. I got up about 8:30 this morning, and I looked out my window, and we already had about 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground. So I got up and I went and I shoveled off the porch and the steps, and I put some some salt out, because just trying to stay ahead of it a little bit, because I keep flashing back. I can't help it. I keep flashing back to the last big significant snowstorm we had, which is about 5 or 6 years ago, around the time that I had my accident. It's got to be about 7 years ago now. But anyway, I remember that I could not, when it was all said and done, I could not go out my front door. I could not open my front door. I had to go out the back door and wade my way through hip-high snow around my house just to get the front door open. It was a nightmare. It took me 3 days to dig my car out, because every time I got it dug out, they came and they plowed me back in. And I'm having flashbacks of that, and I'm just thinking it's going to be the exact same thing. And what the hell am I going to do if I can't even go to work on Monday because I can't get my car out? Because as it is now, the heavy snow isn't even coming until late this afternoon and tonight through tomorrow morning. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm not a happy camper today. So, and I felt the need to share my misery with you people. And like I said, you guys up in, even like in Canada, Alaska, places like that, you probably think I'm a wimp. Live here, okay, and see how you would adjust to the possibility of having to dig out from 2 feet of freaking snow, okay? I'm done. Yeah. Anyway, wish me luck. I'll talk to you later. I'm just like, whatever.